So let's say we're just trying to find C everywhere, all the C's that we can find. Alright, so we know that that's a C chord, right? This note at the bottom here, 8th fret. I'll try to get out of your way. 8th fret there, that one, that's C. So we're going to use octaves to help us memorize the C's all over the fretboard. Now an octave is the same note but going all like 8 notes higher in the scale. It's where the note repeats again but in a higher frequency. So we've got a C there at the 8th fret, we've got another C at the 10th fret of the D if we skip a string. We've got another C at the 13th fret of the B string. You've probably come across songs where the bands like play octaves. You hear that in rock songs a lot. So this is like triple octaves, right? So we're doing one there and one there. So essentially we're getting 3 of the same note. And this is a really good way to sort of map the fretboard out in your mind and get used to where they are. Because we're seeing 1 and then we're seeing where it repeats and then we're seeing where it repeats again. Alright, and then if you just go down a string, we've got 3 F's. F, F, F. 8 on the A string, 10 on the G string, 13 on the E string. And you can slide these around and you get 3 of the same note to look at. Go up to the 10th fret, you've got 3 G's. So that's a good way to learn go through your scales. Just use those triple octaves. And I've just written out this is basically where all the C's are, right? So if we go to the 3rd fret, like your C chord, 3rd fret, skip a string, 5th fret, skip a string, 8th fret. So if you go, you've just covered 6 different places where you can find a C. And remembering that other idea that this little section of the fretboard from 12 up is a repeat of this section, so then we go, and that's just the same as that. So when you simplify it down to that, it's really not that tricky to start finding your notes on the fretboard, alright? So have a play around with that idea. Now the second idea here is to find triads. So triads are like your major chords and minor chords and stuff. So we're going to look for triads, but not in the sense of playing chords. We're going to look for them in the sense of learning the notes. So if we can find the notes from a C chord to start off with, C, E, and G. Now I want to find those 3 notes everywhere. So you can look for like different inversions of the chord. Alright, I'll just keep it in this lower position to start out with. So the C triad is on the 5th fret of the G string, C, E, and G. Now once you have those notes really hammered into your brain, and you're sort of like looking all over the fretboard and finding them, the next thing to do is just change one note and find a new triad. So this is C major. If we change that G to an A, now we're playing an A minor chord, and then we go around the fretboard and try to find all the A minors. And the good thing about the advantage of doing it this way is that when you move from one to the next, you're only changing one note, so you're reinforcing the C and the E in your next chord, and you're just changing the G to an A. And that's also reinforcing the G, because your brain is kind of seeing where the G changes to an A. It's creating this mental map. Now every time you play an A, you know there's a G behind it. Now, and this approach, I've just written out the chords in an order that you can continue on like that. So the next chord is an F. All we have to do with the F is change the E to an F. So now that triad becomes an F major chord. And we try to find those 3 notes everywhere. And you just continue on, change 1 note at a time, and then you end up with all, sorry, you can't see that, all 7 chords of the C major scale. And then you get to the end, you're on E, G, B, you change the B to a C, and you're back to the start, right? So it's just a good little strategy for reinforcing what you've learned and then adding pieces as you go. Alright guys, good luck. Keep liking, keep sharing, and I will keep teaching. Later.